All right, hi everyone. I'm GWFawkes. This is Model Gaming. This is the Model Gaming Show live for the week of June 3rd. It is E3, and I'm going to be going over the press conferences in order: EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, and Devolver, which just ended a few moments ago, about 15 minutes ago. Um, Microsoft, I think, just right off the bat had the best press conference. No frills. Phil Spencer did a great job of talking about the industry as a whole and what they wanted to do. And I think for the second year in a row, really, I mean, they just showed games and now they have to deliver. That's the problem, is that they've been announcing a bunch of games and not necessarily delivering on them. So I hope they do it. Let's start off with EA's. It was Saturday morning. They actually opened it with a little cool Anthem AR thing that was actually really interesting and cool. It looked like one of those holograms, but really well done. I just wanted to make a note of that since I thought it was really interesting and cool, and I hope they utilize more of that in the future. I thought they could have incorporated that in their press conference, but they didn't. Whatever. So the first thing they started with was Battlefield 5, and I haven't played a Battlefield game in a while, probably since Bad Company 2. Didn't play last year's Battlefield 1. And I do want to. I just time, right? I want to play the campaign. I'm not playing many multiplayer games anymore. And so uh, the thing they wanted to hammer on home is destruction is back. They showed a lot of tanks going through buildings, you coming through windows, breaking out of windows and stuff like that. It looked great. I mean, you can customize your soldiers and vehicles. Um, they wanted to make it so that the single player has relatable, real characters. I know there's been a ton of hubbub about all this crap, but I don't buy it. Women are in war. Get over it. No loot boxes, no premium pass. They're having a mode that's called simply Royale. It reminded me of Pulp Fiction, like the Royale with cheese. Um, Royale mode that didn't announce how many players, didn't announce anything. I heard it was 64 players, their last mode anyways, so I'm assuming it's going to be that or more. Could be less, could be 32, whatever the number is, it'll be enough. Especially in a first-person mode, that's going to look great if they can optimize it well enough. They showed a little bit of Grand Operations, which is like a huge mode that everyone loves. It looked good, man. This game, Battlefield, the recent Battlefield games look incredible. So this is no different. It looks fantastic. And the only thing is, it was really brief. It was about 5 minutes, and then they showed like Catch Nordley's. I'm forgetting the thing. It's like a little story in Microsoft's press conference. I'm going to touch on it here. It was like a minute and a half. And it was just like, oh, okay, that was it. It was a little bit more than what they showed at EA's press conference. Whatever. Very odd. But, who cares? Doesn't matter. That's not the focus. Next, going to FIFA 19. Hans Zimmer actually did the music for the trailer along with another collaborator. It sounded appropriately epic. It's continuing Alex Hunter's journey from the previous game. I haven't played a FIFA game in a long time, probably since SNES like '94 with my cousins, so I don't play sports games anymore. So I'm out, but it looks incredible. I've only heard great things about the story mode in these games and how like it's a living world. So great. You also get to chase the World Cup, which is cool. So one of the main developers came on stage and she was from Iceland, and so she was really excited that they got to do that. Um, Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, came out and had a couple of times where he came out, but the main thing he was announcing was Origin Access Premier, which is launching later this year. It's basically copying the Xbox Game Pass, where you're a subscriber to this and you can get games with it. It's going to have Madden 19, FIFA 19, and Anthem as a part of it. Anthem's a big one. That's a good deal. I don't know how much it's going to be, but we'll see. Definitely the most cringe-worthy part of the show. Actually, I'll touch it on the end. Vince Sampella of Respawn Entertainment was in the audience. He was interviewed for this Star Wars game. It's coming in holiday of 2019, so about a year and a half. It's probably going to get delayed. was cringeworthy and weird how they did it, just like an interview, and he was kind of like jokey, but he was just a little bit off-putting. The name is called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is weird because it's like Star Wars colon Jedi colon Fallen Order if you're doing it like phonetically like that. And it takes place between Star Wars episodes 3 and 4, basically about the falling of the Jedi, right? So yeah, that's it. On to the next Star Wars thing, Battlefront 2. You got the solo story coming out with Alden Ehrenreich, Donald Glover, L337, all the characters from Solo. It looks great, man. Like this game looks really damn good, and despite all the loot box shenanigans that happened last year, it looks like a fun game. You're going to be able to squad up much easier. They're doing a better squad mode, which is great. You're going to get deep into the Clone Wars from episodes 1 through 3, and the first planet they showed was Planet Geonosis, and you're going to be able to play as General Grievous, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Count Dooku. Count Dooku, nobody gives a shit. Grievous is cool. Anakin's pretty cool. Obi-Wan's awesome. Everybody knows that. It was great. Again, a game that I don't play. I don't play online multiplayer games. Sorry. At least not yet. And yeah, it looked great. I'm sure for the people that still play it, it's going to be really cool. Um, for me, this is the biggest game. I really like the first one. It's called Unravel, and this is called Unravel 2, lowercase TWO. It's meant to be played cooperatively. Totally in the vein of A Way Out, and it looks great. I love the first Unravel. It actually looked kind of dark and scary and sad, and the first one, while it was like a more somber note, this one definitely took it further. It looks great. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I thought it was a great gameplay trailer. You had the developers up there, two of them playing the game. Excuse me, playing the game cooperatively. Very fun, um, and just like a jolly, jolly time. So, uh, going into the next game, you got a real Xbox, or excuse me, EA Originals, I think is what they're calling it, uh, where they're getting smaller independent studios to back and publish their games, and this one is called Sea of Solitude, or SOS, right? And the developer went up and gave like a really impassioned speech about the game, how about your loneliness causes you to become like a monster, and so you play as this monster trying to regain your humanity. And it looked freaking cool. It looked really good. It's by Yo My Games from Berlin, and the woman who came out was Kay, or excuse me, not who came out. It was about a woman named Kay who becomes a monster, and it's her journey turning back into a woman. That for me, that and Unravel were the highlights of EA's press conference. Their most human moments for sure, and their most fun and interesting. The rest is just like business as usual. Um, so EA plays with the number one player, the champion of Madden 19, and it was just weird and off-putting. You had Juju Schuster-Smith, who's like an NFL All-Star for the Pittsburgh Steelers, come out and go back and forth with this guy named like Little Kiv or something, Kavi. He's the champion, and you could tell that Schuster was really trying to be a part of it and energetic, but you've got this guy who just plays video games, professionally, and he's not that personality. He was obviously nervous. It was a little weird. It felt a little misplaced in the scheme of things. Um, yeah, it was just odd. It's odd to have it. And whatever. You also had NBA Live before that. NBA Live 19 coming out September 7th. I don't know if it's an improvement on the last one or not. It looks cool. I mean, it's really well stylized, but they haven't been reviewing well for a couple of years since they brought it back. Next, and this is where my heart broke a little bit, as a big fan of Red Alert, Command and Conquer, Tiberian Wars, Tiberian Sun, all that good fun. Playing that for years. Redwood Studios comes out, and they are bringing um, Command and Conquer Rivals to mobile, and they proceeded to bring out two RTS pros, In Control and Nick at Night, to play a game, and it was like if I had to guess, it was anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes long of them playing a battle between each other, and it was insanely out of touch and bad. Like it was they were trying to have commentators like explain it and go on and make it energetic, but it was just like you couldn't believe what you were watching, and it was super weird. Um, they ended with this is what I mean. That led into their final game, which is Anthem, their big game of the show. Finally gets a release date, February 22nd, 2019. Pretty soon, really. I think they're going to have an open beta. Um, it just seemed odd to have Redwood lead into this Anthem, right? And to be honest, Anthem felt short. It was only like 7 minutes, maybe. Um, uh, the quote that I wanted to reiterate was the anthem is all that remains. So we don't even know what anthem is, but it seems to be a source of energy or a place or something, right? You have four different classes. You can customize the change, the look of them, really cool. Like from what we saw in the glimpses, that looked really great. The customization options on how your character looks. You can change classes in between missions, and um, it was it was good. It was a good showing, but it really didn't up my interest level any more than what they showed last time. And it almost showed like a similar trailer, just more in depth. It was really weird. Like you would think they would have something more. And I like the way they did it. They brought out Casey Hudson and a couple other developers on it to explain it, but it just felt weird. Andrea Renee did a great job. She was the host. She's very personable. She did the best with what she had to work with. She is a consummate professional, and she did a great job hosting and doing everything she could to make it entertaining. And she's great, so she gets a thumbs up. Overall, the press conference was not great. Um, really, you had in an hour, you had two things that the casual viewer might be interested in. I know FIFA's great, but that's like an every year thing that those players are there for that. All their sporting games, it just felt it was just bad. It wasn't great. Unravel 2 was good, Sea of Solitude was good, but those are two very small parts in that. And Anthem didn't do anything special. I think that's the thing, is it didn't do anything special to pique my interest, and maybe it's not far along enough, right? It's it's June, so you got 6 more months plus another two, so you got 8 more months to do work. Maybe they don't have enough to show. I don't know, but it seemed like they showed the same crap. Um, I saw from the stream that I was watching, I saw people complaining that the numbers were comically big on the kill, like when you're shooting at enemies. That didn't really bother me, but they could definitely be hopefully size adjusted. That was EA's press conference. Frustrating because you think with all the shit that they got last year, that they would try and do something else. I don't know. Do something, right? To make it better, but they really didn't. So I don't know. It was just a little bit weird. Little odd. Nothing special. Nothing like those Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude. Those could have been announced at any time, and that would have the same effect. So, yeah, could have done better, but they didn't. So, moving on. So today at 1 p.m. Again, this is Sunday, June 10th. I'm not really going into. There was really no news this week. Sorry. So I'm not going to get really into anything else but the conferences. Lot to talk about, and I'm going to try and do it as quickly as possible. We're already like 15 minutes in. So, or excuse me, 14 minutes in. Xbox. I'm going to say right out the gate, they had the best conference so far. I don't know how they're going to get beat, especially with Sony announcing they're only really focusing on 4 games. This was 50 games they talked about. Granted, they had a montage of like 20, you know what I mean, that are coming to the system that are all smaller games. Cool. But man, was this a friggin' great conference. Again, Halo Infinite opening, new Halo game, you know, finishing the fight or whatever the hell they're saying for this Halo game. It looked big though. It looked big. It looked massive. I don't know if it's going to be like an open worldish type Halo, but it looked like, from what we saw, it was like a warthog driving in the distance, and it looked massive. I hope they go with that. Led with Ori and the Willow of the Wisps, I think it's called. It's got a release date. It's just coming out in 2019. It looks fantastic. I love Ori and the Blind Forest. This looks like it improves. It has different gameplay mechanics. It looks really damn fun. Then the next, which I can't believe they got, and now we learn that it is not a console exclusive, which is really badass. It's called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. So that's the Shadows Die Twice that we got hint. It's from Software. It looks friggin' sick. It's like a feudal Japan game, but it has elements almost of Ninja Gaiden, where the combat looks incredible. So what stopped me from playing the Dark Souls games, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Neo games is that the movement and combat and enemies just seem like they all have their own thing. But this seems more action oriented, more action packed, more like a Ninja Gaiden. And it looks friggin' sick. Really, like I was much more into it than I thought I was gonna be. I love the setting. Even though Neo it looks very similar, it just looks like it plays so much more differently. Todd Howard of Bethesda came on. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Fallout 4 is on Game Pass. Great. I'll get to Todd Howard and Bethesda later for their conference. Um, Square Enix. Cool Life is Strange universe spin-off called Captain Spirit. It looks really damn fun. It's like you play a little kid and his imagination. It's him and his father, two new characters, loss of their mom, his wife, and it looks really jolly. And it comes out June 26th, so that's soon. 2 weeks from now, you can play that. Really cool. Then we get Crackdown 3, which is basically Terry Crews or the Old Spice commercial, the game, with all of his dialogue. And while it looks fun, it got pushed to February 2019, and it really doesn't look like anything special. That's what kills me is that this game has been delayed 5 years or for however long, so much now. Like it's basically vaporware at this point. That to show what they did, which was nothing, no gameplay, no like game demonstration, just a trailer with Terry Crews talking over it the whole time. It was just like, okay, cool, on to the next and on to the next. Real quick, Xbox One X Enhanced, Nier Automata on June 26th as well. That's sick. Moving on. I'm sorry. There's a lot to talk about with Microsoft. I've already reiterated, like I can't reiterate it enough. They killed it. It was the best conference I've seen so far. They just threw games at you for an hour and 40 minutes, or an hour and a half. It was incredible. Moving on, Metro Exodus, February 22nd, 2019. Looks incredible. I just recently played the Metro Last Light and Metro 2033. They're great games. Don't sleep on them. You should play the remastered versions for the newer consoles. So, Sea of Thieves showed. I'm going to skip one to come back to it because I think it's a bigger one that I want to touch on. Sea of Thieves showed Cursed Sails and Forsaken Shores. Looks cool. It really does look cool. I wish I was into that game. From what I've read, it's just you need friends, and it's an online multiplayer thing. I'm out, but I'm glad that they're supporting it. I think it comes out July and August, so back to back. I could be off on that. It could be August, September. But yeah, it looks fine. Okay, cool. Nothing too crazy. So Battlefield 5, they showed Nordley's place, I think is what it was called. There was literally nothing new. It was like 30 seconds longer than what they showed at EA, and I don't get it. It was like, okay, that was cool, great, why did you need that at Xbox? I don't friggin' know. I really don't. Kind of a weird misstep. So the game that I skipped is Kingdom Hearts 3. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. I would love to. I might buy when I get my PlayStation 4 that Kingdom Hearts Remastered 2.8 BS, whatever the hell that is, with all the games. I'll probably get that and play it. Kingdom Hearts 3, and I don't say this lightly, looks fucking awesome. I don't care about the shitty voice acting. I don't care about the story. The gameplay looks cool. The worlds look incredible. It showed Frozen and Tangled. It looked like the friggin' movies. Like you're playing that animation style movie. It looked that damn good. It showed Toy Story 3. It showed the Gummy Ship. It showed a ton of stuff. And it looked incredible. Like, and I have no hype for this game. Like, I've not played a single one. They don't really interest me. This interests me. This looks incredible. Really piqued my interest. Really makes me want to play all the way through this whole series before playing this one. I'm really excited. I wasn't before. I've seen trailers before. This got me amped, man. It got me amped. It looks great. Coming to Xbox as well, January 29th, 2019. So 7 months. We're almost there. Um, Forza Horizon 4. This is some big stuff happening right here. I played my first Forza Horizon game, Forza Horizon 3. I loved it. It's a fantastic game. Probably put like 50 or 60 hours into it. Incredible. Incredible enough to make me, when I got with Xbox Live, Forza Horizon, I went back and played and beat that. Forza Horizon 4, man, looks great. Probably the best presentation of any game at Microsoft's conference, just in terms of how they brought out the developers, how they showed it. How they showed it was awesome. They had 3 teams of 4 all in one world together. They're all real players now, and it comes out October 2nd, which is crazy. But dynamic weather and season changes. The season changes look incredible. It's set in Britain. Like all the other cars are real people too, which is awesome. And they have a new 60 frames per second mode, which I know people are going to lose their minds about. Forza Horizon 4 definitely be a purchase for me. Going to be playing the hell out of it. Always a good time Forza games. Um, so then Microsoft did something a little bit different, and I really liked what they did. They came out and said, "Hey, we've heard you guys. Like, we want our focus is on games. We're still trying to make up for things of the past. Okay, sins of the past. So we've created a new Microsoft in-house studios called The Initiative. It's all about creating new series. It's all about creating new games. That's awesome." And then they came and also bought 4 game companies as part of the Microsoft fold. Undead Labs, which just released State of Decay, awesome. Playground Games, Forza Horizon, awesome. Ninja Theory, which just released Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, awesome. As much as I was frustrated with the combat in that game, it was a great experience, and I think they can do great things under like Microsoft's money. And then also Compulsion Games, which has We Happy Few, which has been like in what's that? Open, not open beta, early access for like a year. They showed a friggin' trailer that was incredible. That trailer got me amped for that game. Really cool. That comes out actually on August 10th of this year. Finally, the full release. Um, Next, just to touch on that a little bit more, I think that having those game studios under your belt, that's going to matter. And what Microsoft's doing with that is, hey, let's get these guys to create games. Like, let's get some new IP. Because I really think that, and especially, I'll get to it at the end. I'll get to the bigger talking points. So I'm really glad they did that. The next was three good looks at games. PUBG War Mode. It's a new War Mode. Looks cool. Coming out winter 2018. A new snow map. Different, all different stuff. Yada yada yada. Same stuff with that. It's just an ever expanding game. Looks cool. I don't play it. Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition, coming winter 2018. Looks great. I've never played any of those games. I want to play Tales of Vesperia. I think that's on my list, and Trials of Cold Steel and all these games that look similar. Tales of Vesperia looks cool on my radar. The Division 2. Cool trailer. Excuse me. Okay trailer. Cool like planned gameplay demo. Where it's like they got actors to do the voices and whatever. But it looked good. Like it looked fun. Again, not my cup of tea, but I thought it showed well. It was a good presentation for it. Cool. Ashley Spiker came out. She's head of engineering for Xbox Games Pass, and basically said, hey, we're trying to give as much value as possible, get everyone involved. The Division, Fallout 4, and the Elder Scrolls Online are now available. that's pretty cool. Just 4 new games. They're older games, don't get me wrong, but to be able to now play them for $10 a month, cool. Like that Xbox Games Pass is looking more and more lucrative as time goes on. All the games that I'm announcing that are released, like that are Microsoft games, they're day and date release on Xbox Games Pass, which is awesome. Um, then they showed more friggin' games. Holy shit! So like I said, this Xbox conference was insanity. A lot to get through. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, good trailer. Another good trailer. Her face looks weird, man. I don't know what it is. I played the previous 2 games. Her face didn't look like that. It looks a little squished for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Um, it looks good. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna be a friggin' mid to high 80s game on Metacritic and all that crap. I don't care about what everyone's saying. Even if it's the same game, it looks good. It looks really fun. A new skating game everyone thought was Skate 4. Bamboozled. It's called Session. Uh, Looks cool. I love Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I love that series. Never played a skate, but Session looked cool. It was just like a trailer, no gameplay seemingly. Um, then they had a Black Desert expansion. It's the MMORPG. It looks good. They always make those. They always make that game look really good, but I have no interest in it. And like once people figured out what it was, they were just like yawning. Um, that was like really funny. Once people figured out what it was, they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, it always shells well." Um, gonna jump ahead a little bit. You got Cuphead DLC, uh, which is awesome. As frustrated as I got, you can watch my stream getting my ass kicked, and then I actually went and beat it in heart, like beat it completely afterwards. I did not want to stream that. Uh, Great game. I'm gonna be buying this DLC. It's a new character called Miss Chalice, which is cool, and like the Salt Shaker. It's really fun, really cool art style. Comes out in 2019. Then they showed off a little bit more of this game called Tunic. Looks like Zelda with a fox, but faster paced combat, almost like Hyper Light Drifter. It looks great. It looks super friggin' charming. It's like charming the game. Great. So skipped it, but Devil May Cry 5, the worst kept Capcom secret of the show. Kind of everybody knew that it was coming or hoped that it was coming. And it looks like it's starring Nero, not Dante. Dante did make an appearance at the very end, but no gameplay trailer. It was just a story trailer. They showed a little bit of what is gameplay, but excuse me, not a little bit. They showed some of what is gameplay. Looks good. He's got this trick arm. Um, like whatchamacallit, Shadows Die Twice. It's like they've got these trick arms that you can do different things with. Looks great. So Phil Spencer comes back on and goes, "Hey, what you're about to see are all world premieres. You're seeing it here first." And like at this point, it's like you're exhausted. It's an embarrassment of riches, this press conference. Um, So Bandai Namco announces Jump Force, which just looks like a batshit crazy insane anime fighter with every friggin' anime, Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, just to name the most prominent ones. It looked insane. I don't know if it's gonna be any good, but it looks cool. And to marry all those different anime cultures together, I'm sure it'll sell like crazy. Dying Light 2, next game. Looks great. Looks cool. A ton of changing consequences. They really focused on how your consequences of certain decisions matter, and they say that hundreds of decisions in the game will determine kind of like the environment, how the environment changes depending on your actions. They highlighted if you kill a guy, your town has running water, but it leads to this bad thing. If you work with him, running water is scarce, and it drives in bad bandits. So it's like it looked cool, look good. Next, throwaway Battletoads coming 2019, hand-drawn 2.5D sprites in 4K. That's friggin' cool. It's just an announcement trailer. It just said 2019. Cool. Just Cause 4 coming December 4th, 2018. Looks crazy. Looks like all the other ones though, except with a friggin' tornado. I can't get hyped about these games. They're not for me. They're just it's just violence all around and spinning and whatever. It's crazy. The only misstep is right here, okay? And if you can call it a misstep, right? It was just a little bit weird with how the conference was going, how well it was to announce this. You had like a Gears of War trailer, everyone's getting pumped, right? And then it's called Gears Pop, and it's a mobile game, and it looks like Gears of War Pop Funko figures. It was so weird. It was so weird to put that in the conference. Then they bring out one of the heads of the Gears studio and talks to you about Gears Tactics. For the PC, looks like XCOM but with Gears. Really cool. Hey, I'm all for it, man. They just did it. It looks great. XCOM is really fun. I can't really get into it. I'm not good at those games, but it looked good. It looked like XCOM in the Gears universe. Thumbs up, man. Um, and then, of course, they had an extended trailer for Gears of War 5. It was a story trailer that obviously leads into no live demo, but gameplay footage. Uh, Looks good, man. The new enemy types look fun. I still haven't played Gears of War 4. I don't really have an excuse. I will probably get that at some friggin' point and play that on PC. Maybe I'll do a stream of it. That actually sounds good. I like the Gears games. I've liked 1 through 3. I really have. I just like playing them with a co-op buddy, and so I'll probably do that. They didn't even give a release date for Gears of War 5. That's just it's in development. So Phil Spencer comes back out, and they really did a great job. This was a fantastic showing. Again, buying up those studios. He comes out and announced that they're deep in development of the next Xbox, and so this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Is that I think they're just going to keep iterating. I think the next is going to be the Xbox One X Plus or Pro or whatever. That they're just going to keep iterating from now on, and there's not going to be like a next gen anymore. It's just going to be like, no, this is what this box can do, and your game will still be able to play on the Xbox One X, not the Xbox One. So each previous system will be backwards compatible, I guess, for the games, but not the one before it. So you'll have 2 systems at one time. That's my guess, is what's going to happen. PlayStation 5, everyone thinks is already announced. People have let slip in conferences of like next gen games and stuff. I just think they're going to keep iterating. I think that's the smartest way out now until people stop buying consoles. Every time they can just go, hey, here's a new console. Graphics look really damn good right now, man. I don't know how much better we're going to be getting until computer processing really picks up. So, yeah, yes, I know if you have a friggin' Titan X graphics card or a 1080 Ti, yes, you can put it looks incredible. But what I mean is, these new boxes, they're getting more powerful, but for what? It's just okay, great. So Phil Spencer comes out and thanks everyone, and he's like, "Have a great rest of your E," and he doesn't even get off 3. And Cyberpunk 2077 hacks the conference and shows what I would call a 2-minute, 2.5-minute trailer for their game. No gameplay. It did not look like gameplay. It said in-engine. I don't friggin' buy it. So was The Witcher 3 in-engine, that first trailer, and it looked nothing like that. So who the hell knows what kind of PC you'd have to run that. It looked cool though. I'm friggin' interested. Cyberpunk 2077. I love The Witcher 3, 2, and 1. This is CD Projekt Red. They don't mess around. The world looks incredible. It looks nuts, and I'm really glad for it. They needed it to be nuts. They absolutely needed it to be nuts. Great press conference. I honestly don't believe anybody's going to touch that. It's going to be hard to touch it. They just threw so much at you. They threw so much at you, so many games. They said 50 all in all. I believe it. It was crazy. Really great conference. Just games, limited talking. Yo, let's go. Just about 2 hours ago now, excuse me. Yeah, Bethesda's was at 6:30. Sorry, I'm a little delirious. It's been a long day. 6:30. Bethesda's E3 press conference starts out with I love this dude. I love this band. Andrew WK with Ready to Die. Full song performance. People in the crowd didn't know what the hell was going on. I love that damn song. Um, for Rage 2. It looked really damn fun. Rage 2 looks really fun. It looks like Bulletstorm, but different. It looks just like a game that you're gonna go and play the single player campaign. It's gonna be like 12 hours. It's gonna be a friggin' blast, and you're just gonna be killing a bunch of guys and doing all that. They have like the quote, "If you can see it, you can drive it," and any vehicle. They all looked cool. Great way to start it off. Um, then you got like the Elder Scrolls Legends and the available online later this year. It's like a mobile card game. I have never even heard of it until they announced it. Then they talked about the Elder Scrolls Online. They have 11 million concurrent people play, or not concurrent, 11 million people playing it. And yeah, it was fine, nothing crazy. Then they announced Doom Eternal, and it's hell on earth. Cool trailer, in development, no release date, no nothing. Just a really cool trailer to get you hyped, and two guys coming out to talk about it for a little bit. No new details really, just hype. I guess I should have prefaced this E3 press conference for Bethesda as like really like kind of just it seemed like a lot of people's family and friends and the actual developers of all those games were there in the audience. It didn't seem like a conference that was to the general public, even though that might have been the case. It seemed more intimate and small, and I thought that while it was just an okay conference, um, that kind of made it cool. That it's like, hey, the love and the hype is there. Um, Quake Champions free to play this week. I've played so much Unreal Tournament and Quake in my days. I'm good. It looks really fun. But yeah, whatever. Prey was their next game. Free update tonight. Free patch. DLC, Moon Crash, which was shadow dropped. Later this summer, you got Typhon Hunter. It's like 5 against 1 Mimic, which is really cool. And the Moon Crasher DLC looked really damn cool. Excuse me. It's been a long friggin' day. Looked really damn cool. Basically, it's like a roguelite. It changes every playthrough, and you got to try and get through the end. And everything changes about the level. Looks really cool, especially for a game like Prey. Another one on my list, right? Uh, so then we got, for me, the best thing of their conference. Um, Short talk. Wolfenstein, June 26th on Switch. Great, great. Wolfenstein Young Blood. It stars BJ's two twin daughters that you can play co-op. One of them seems to be a brawler, the other one seems to be a sniper, and you play as them going and killing Nazis in the 80s. Nothing more to say. I loved the new Colossus. It was the most fun game I played last year. It was incredible, or from last year. I think I played it this year. It was absolutely incredible. And I can't wait for another game in this universe, especially if it's continuing like that story. Looks incredible. Continuing on with that, they're announcing two VR games. Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, where you play as a hacker and hack the cyber mechs that the Nazis have. You can use it to attack them. And Prey in VR, the 5 against 1. Very cool stuff. So this is how they ended it. Todd Howard comes out like a mother effing rock star, like lights blaring, comes out like he's a god. Which, hey, he's been at Bethesda for 25 years, man. The dude is a legend there, and really just shows off online survival RPG Fallout, and it looks cool. You join up with other friends, do different missions. You can play it single, like by yourself, but the end game looks really damn cool, like level 50, I think, where you have to go and get nuclear launch codes, and you join up with friends, and you can nuke a part of the map, and decimate it, and then go there and find Fallout and other loot. It looked cool, man. Really great presentation, honestly, for Fallout 76, but it just didn't, I guess, show enough for me gameplay wise yet. It just showed, kept doing quick cuts of different monsters and action and whatnot, but I'd like to see more in depth. And hey, it's coming out November 14th. They're doing a beta, which is very, very smart. Um, and yeah, I mean, who am I to say? November 14th, hey, 5 months from now, man, this thing's going to be out. So I imagine the beta is going to be coming out pretty soon. But it's piqued my interest definitely. I skipped Fallout 4. I played Fallout 3 and all the expansions and stuff for approximately 90 hours. I put my time into that game and I loved it. Fallout 4 just looked like more of the same. This looks very lush. Fallout 76, you're like one of the first vaults to be released, and after it's a prequel to all the games, and yeah, different environments. It's green. There's trees. There's a bunch of different stuff. Much appreciated. And yeah, it was a great presentation on it. Um, they also announced Fallout Shelter on PS4 and Switch. Shadow dropped tonight, which is great. Um, there's a game coming out afterwards called The Elder Scrolls Blade. It's like a mobile game. It's also for VR. It's just like it's a cool game, man, where you like do swipes. It looks like a PC game on the computer, man. It's getting crazy how good these graphics are getting on these phones. So this is where he said a little something controversial. I'm very interested. He said, now we're going to talk about a next generation game, or next generation games rather, which definitely, raised some eyebrows considering uh, this generation's still going pretty good, man, and apparently they're well into development kits for the next generation. So uh, it's their it's their only new franchise directly made by them in 25 years, which is like it's one of the saddest things I've ever heard. It's so sad that like that was like a sticking point. It's like, dude, you should have made more new IP then. Starfield, quick trailer, no nothing, no date, probably coming out in 2020 or 2021 or whatever. Who knows? And then they did the same thing with Elder Scrolls 6. Same thing, no information. Um, this conference was okay. It was a lot of like self-congratulatory BS where they were waiting for applause for everything, and it was just an okay press conference. They had some cool stuff, but really the only thing of note that was huge was Fallout 76 of actual information and footage and stuff. Everything else was just like, okay, cool, great, great, move on, cool, cool, whatever. Okay, Fallout 76, let's spend 15 minutes doing a dive into this. That's pretty cool. And then, Elder Scrolls, Blades, like that kind of crap, it's like you should have put that before. Why wouldn't you end with Fallout 76 and then do this small Fallout Shelter mention that you did, and then go into Starfield and Elder Scrolls 5? You didn't even need to mention Elder Scrolls Blades. It's like, you got to do that before Fallout 76. That's your main thing. A little weird. Um, whatever. It's fine. It was a fine conference, but it probably didn't need to be the 50 minutes that it was. It could probably have been half an hour and it would have been just as filled. Finally, Devolver, 20-minute. Nina Struthers is back, and now apparently dead and rebooted for next year's E3. Uh, what was it? Let me count. 4 games that they announced. That's it. Scum Season 2. It's a Supermax survival game, like online game. Never heard of it. Looks fairly interesting, but who the hell knows? Loot box coin was really apt and really damn funny, and it's not a game. It's not anything. Excuse me, 3 games. Loot box coin. I apologize for all the yawning. Is just it's so fantastic to shit on the cryptocurrency stuff right now since nobody knows what the hell is happening. I really liked how they did that. My friend Pedro looked awesome. This shooting ballet dance game, kind of like a Hotline Miami, but more acrobatic and more fluid, more dance-like. Looked really fun. game that I want to play. Like I really do want to play. And then finally, From Software released a game in 2004, I think they said, or 2003, called Metal Wolf Chaos. And Devolver is like, nope, we're remastering it, and it's Metal Wolf Chaos XD From Software remake. So those are the three games that they really touched on, and it was a crazy, crazy show again. Definitely had some shock value. Nina Struthers is still great. Um, yeah, overall, these conferences, I'm pretty happy with everything so far. You got Sony tomorrow, Square Enix tomorrow, and there's a third, I think. Give me one second. I'm gonna look it up right now. Uh, for tomorrow, you got Sony con. There we. Okay, so you got Square press conference at 10 a.m. You got Ubisoft at 1, and you got Sony at 6 p.m. So, uh, tomorrow I might live stream the Sony press conference, and then you know what? No, I'm not gonna make any promises like that. I will come on after the Sony press conferences, probably around 7:30, and go over all of them. I do not know if I will have time tomorrow to watch Square Enix. It's a work day. Don't know if I can get to it. Um, I might be able to watch Ubisoft, maybe. Uh, but I will definitely be able to watch Sony's press conference and report directly live back on that. Um, uh, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. Sony, their last year's press conference was incredible. Um, and so far, so good with these. EA expected to be lame. It kind of was. They did their best, but I don't know if they're really actually listening to anybody. Bethesda's okay. It was fine. Devolver's, same thing. It was cool. It was fine. Microsoft's, it was great. It was an hour and 30 minutes of just straight games. Hopefully they can capitalize on it, right? That's all you want is you want them to friggin' capitalize on it, and they haven't been. And so it's super frustrating when you have a company like Microsoft, like, come on guys, get your shit together, and you didn't. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really pumped. It's been a great E3 so far, and I really appreciate if you're catching this. You really, if you're catching this stream right now or after the fact, it's a great E3 to be a part of, and I'm really excited for the next 2 days. So, and excuse me, you got Nintendo on Tuesday and Nintendo Labs all day. So, yeah, that should be very interesting. And I'm gonna do another show again the following night. Don't know if I'm going to be playing any games. Tomorrow, I might play a little bit of Valiant Hearts tomorrow night, try and finish that off for a case of the Mondays. But as far as Tuesday and Wednesday go, um, Sony's press conference I think is going to be really dense, and I want to get through that, so I might not play any games on Tuesday and Wednesday. But that being said, thank you all for joining me. I'm GWFawkes, Fawkes. This is the Model Gaming Show, Model Gaming. You can catch me here, twitch.tv/Model Gaming Show. You can find me on YouTube as well, where all the archives are of every show that I've ever done is up there. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night and are enjoying E3 as much as me. Cheers.